pleasure to meet all at last, and welcome back to the Vlog-A-Thon 4.0. And now for today, well, this vlog in particular, over the span of 5 days, I cannot stress this enough because there really is a lot that I'm going to have to touch base on before I even think about going anywhere else here. Of course, I still got content of mine, including Honest Jane Nowak and Face Cam Specials Insurgents. And also, there's going to be a few more Hot Wheels Hilarity add-ons, like some more layout shoutouts or colossal clashes or anything else of the sort before I move on to, well, anything else that I'm going to be having. Not to mention Nerf Secret Revealed Aftersought, but, you know, I kind of feel like I'm going on a roll here by talking about my personal projects of mine, really big ones, to be specific. Because I feel like that the last 3 or 4 vlogs I've been talking a lot about some of my feature film related projects that I have in the works, as well as some that I've had back then. Although I gotta say, looking at all the ones that I did in the past, leading up until today's events, which is going to pretty soon lead up to a 6th outing in Kaiju Force Neo history, even though, technically speaking, I now have ownership of the other 11 projects that my family's, well, filming business has had. So technically this would mean I have 16, going on 17 official outings based on the feature film production line that I've gotten so far. And even though I was not alive 30 years ago, it's safe to say that my family was still able to put up a lot for a lot to see, really. This was way before the internet was even around, so I could imagine just how great someone would probably lead up to a good film project. And apparently when they did 11 of them, which took the place throughout the 70s and the 80s and the 90s and up until around the 2000s, to when I took over once and for all. Although I gotta say that the previous 5 outings that I've had in Kaiju Force Neo history, based on, well, the different feature films that I've tried out, different plot lines, different character lineups and all that good stuff. The first film I had was about crystal mining. The second one was about a dangerous trip out in the open sea. The third outing was based on paleontology. The fourth one, in 2014, was basically some sort of dystopian survival sort of film itself. I kind of forgot about that last time I started talking about my previous entries. And then the 5th and final one, which was at the time my most recent one, was in 2017, when I basically had a one-shot style, first-person perspective, kind of day of my life scenario. So, of course, those are just all the 5 that I've already done since 2005, but of course that almost has me wondering, because I have actually had these up on the internet before, especially when the channel was before in its state in the blackout period, especially before 2013, because at the time before the blackout period even took place in January 2013, my 2012 outing was kind of put up as just a rough cut feature that I had put together pretty much, because I did not have anything prepared based on, well, the animation cues and segments that I probably would have had to spend a lot of time working on. But I will say though that the 5 outings that I did have before this, they were just good ways to at least try to get out there in the feature film business itself. When it comes to filming, I tell you, with all the outings that I've had so far, and with the 6th one coming soon, it just goes to show that I've really been taking up a lot of time in my life to really get stuff put together, just for everyone out there to know that I am in fact a local filmmaker who does not give up. So of course, that's pretty much what you need to know there about the films once and for all that I've had before Nerf Secret Reveal Bolts of Intrigue is going to be released. But I am in fact wondering, because of the disappearance of all these projects that I've had, because of the blackout period and all that, a lot of my content have been wiped off the face of the internet, all because of things that I've done back in, from 2009 to like 2012, pretty much. I had a lot of crap going on through those times that I honestly would do anything to reverse. But you know what? If time travel ain't around yet, I don't see any point in complaining about it. So of course that's just that. But I will say though that maybe sooner or later, there might come a time in my life where I might have to do some reproduction on these films themselves, because they were not as good as I felt like they would have turned out if I really put some effort into them. So of course, I'm basically speaking that the previous 5 entries that I've had in Kaiju Force Neo history might have to be remade. Yeah, of course. The question is, when can I do so, and how am I going to do so? Well, I don't really know for sure, but it might be a different sort of placement in my time. Because 5 feature film productions that I had over the course of 12 years during that time, up until 2018, just goes to show that, well, there really is a lot that I was able to put together, but even though I had so much time in between each of them, I just couldn't do much. And it was partly because of my education, and because of all the other stuff that I've been trying to do, and I also can't forget the blackout period from 2013 to 2018. Kaiju Force Neo pretty much went through a big downfall during that time. But since 2015, I suppose, is when I really started to make a comeback, especially when it comes to Vine and Twitter and Instagram, other social media platforms that Kaiju Force Neo had been on during those times, all through those years. I was able to make a big comeback, and of course, we can't forget the 2017, the 2018 Game Tweak community anomaly that had pretty much gone underway. To which I basically know it as not an anomaly, but a phenomenon for the most part. A lot of people would consider it an anomaly because they think it's just some way of spamming. No. That ain't even close to true. How else do you think I could have gotten 30,000 followers and millions of more people recognizing my name like that? I don't even know for sure, but one thing's for sure. Whether or not I will have the time to do it in the next 10 years or so, I gotta say that a lot of my time is going to be taken up by many of the other projects that I have in line. Nerf Secret Reveal Bolts of Intrigue is just one out of a couple dozen that I have for the next 20 years or so. And I will say that having one new film of mine every year is really going to be helping me. It just goes to show that I've really come an incredibly long way since the very beginning. Although the beginning is somewhat debatable by my stance. Well, anyways, I don't know whether or not I will go ahead and remaster any of the other 5 entries that I've had before the upcoming Bolts of Intrigue and any of the others that I'll have down the line, but I suppose I'll let you know if I do anything about that. But until then, if you want to see more, go down my channel. Make sure that you like, subscribe, comment, follow me on social media, and stay on the Hollywood side.